Okay, so now we have our pages all set up and we're ready to start adding our posts so that we can add them to our pages. If we recall, we talked about adding posts to our pages. The way that we want to leverage posts is we want to break the information up into smallest pieces possible so that we can leverage that information and distribute it throughout our site in different ways by using categories and tags. What we're going to do at the moment, though, is go and get your information set up, prepare your data, get all of your family members, others, people. You want to get yourself ready with the the information that you're going to enter in for those people. We use the same information that we use for our HTML5 tags, and if we do this, then we don't have to focus on what it is, what the data is, so much as laying out the page and the programmatic side of things. This is often the way that it is. You'll receive information from a client, marketing department, depending on what you're doing and where you're working and how it's going. What's most important is that you're not taking the time to go out and find the information while you're trying to actually lay out the pages and do things. It's a good idea to make sure that your data is clean. So it's best to actually copy it all into your note pages. We have a quote that we're putting at the top of the very top of the page, and then we have the people that we're putting into our page. As I said, it's very important to go ahead and get this information prepared so that you do not have to do it while you're completing the layout. So with that said, we'll go ahead and we'll start preparing ourselves to put data into our page. And the way that we want to do that is we're going to go out and install a plugin. And what that plugin is going to be called is Shortcodes Ultimate. And what this allows us to do is to use shortcodes, as we'll learn about as we progress throughout the rest of the semester and this lesson. And let's go ahead and install it. Shortcodes Ultimate. We're installing that into our site. It's a plugin on our plugins page. And once it's installed, we'll go ahead and we'll activate it. It's now activated. It's in our site. And so before we get too far into using this plugin and install and leveraging shortcodes, we're going to go ahead and it's easier if we get our data set up first and then move forward with it. And if we take a look, we'll see we do have it installed right there. Don't pay attention to other plugins. I might have plugins that you do not. No reason to pay attention to that. So we want to go ahead and we want to put our people in to our website. We want to be able to use them throughout our website. We do that by creating posts. Remember that the difference between pages and posts. Pages are just static pieces of information that will sit there and are not frequently changed, don't need to be distributed throughout the site, as where posts are how we take pieces of information and we create them, such as people, and we'll use that information to place it in different areas of the website, as we'll demonstrate through the people and family page, as well as other pages. The big thing to remember here is if we put everybody into, let's say, family, all three people in the family page, then if we wanted to reuse the information on those three people, we would actually have to pull it and extract it and do all kinds of crazy things to get them out to our different parts of the website. By putting each person in as an individual and leveraging categories and tags, we're able to pull different people into different places. And so if you take this away from the idea of just people and really think about it, we can do this with all types of information. And with it all segmented apart, we can leverage different pieces of information in different places, making it more universal and allowing us to make a greater information site. So before we actually make the posts, one of the things we want to do is go ahead and create post categories. Categories are one of the ways that we can break up the information or actually call the information throughout our website and apply it to different areas based on specific categories, which categories a post belongs to. Through categories and tags, you'll find that we can filter and pull information with more specific meaning to pages that we might set up where we might only want like family or friends, and we'll see that as we demonstrate. So we've created the people, and now we're adding the family, and we can actually nest these as we go, friends, and we're making them children of people. This allows us a little more flexibility in how we do some things. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create others, and we're going to actually take it off of people as the parent category so that we can quickly review how to edit a category as well. So went ahead and edited it. You'll see in quick edit, we can edit the name and the slug. The slug we'll talk about at a later point. But for now, we're going to go in and we're just going to edit the category, and we're going to make it parent people because that's how we want things at the moment. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is the best approach. We're using this as a learning cycle, and as we move forward in building our website, we'll find that we'll manipulate and manage things differently, and that'll help us out in distributing our information. So now we'll go ahead and we'll get started with creating our people, and we're now in posts, and we're gonna go in. We're gonna grab our data that we have, our first three people, and what we're going to do is grab our first three people out of our text file, and we're just cleaning up our file a little bit, and kind of preparing it to be copied and pasted into the post so that it comes over a little cleaner. And we'll do them 3 at a time. And the reason we'll do it 3 at a time is so we don't have to keep bouncing around back and forth in between the text file and the data. And the way that we get started is, of course, I'll take my wife, Jennifer Savage, and I'm going to move her up to the post name, post title, and she's my wife. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tag that she is my wife. Kind of a silly tag. Tags are meant to be multiples, but I guess if we lived in Utah, it might be an acceptable tag. So we'll go ahead and we'll make a tag out of wife, in spite of the fact that it might seem a little irrelevant to wife, seeing that we're only supposed to have one. I'm going to clean up my data about her, my description, and I'm going to come over and in categories, I'm going to check her off as family, and also going to check her off as people. That way, when I want to call all people, she's a part of what I call in there. So then what we'll do from this point is we have something called a featured image in WordPress, and that image is associated. It's an image that we select and we associate specifically with that post. So whenever that post is called, if there's a spot for an image to be displayed, we can go ahead and we can use, it'll go ahead and use that featured image. Good idea to go out and get your images before you get started on the website or entering the posts. Really, honestly, you want all the information available and there for you, so you don't have to stop your flow of creating the posts and putting things in. You can just continue on and get your data entry part done and completed. All right, so click set featured image, and let's go out and we'll grab our, you can see the picture successfully got in there. We're going to grab our remaining 2 people of the 3 that we're working on, and we're going to hit publish. At this point, it's publishing to the database, and we're actually saving Jennifer Savage as a post, and it'll be available throughout the website for us to call on whenever we would like to. Awesome. So now we're going to add our second family member. My second family member is going to be Chloe. Chloe Popper Puddin' Pie Pumpkin Savage, to be exact. We'll go ahead and put the post title in as her name. We'll grab daughter as the tag. We'll add that tag. We'll go ahead and set her as people and family in the categories. Clean up the text a little bit. Drop down and take care of the set featured image. And we'll go ahead and we'll select her image and bring it into what's known as the media library in WordPress, which is great. We're kind of using that object-oriented approach in here because the images are stored in one place and accessible throughout the website for whatever use you need the image for. It's not just specific or relative to just this one post. I could use her image over and over again in different posts, different pages. It's there, and if I needed to update it, I have one place to update it. So we'll go ahead and publish that, and we're going to add a new one. We're not necessarily going back and checking our work. Could cause us problems, but we want to keep going for the sake of not making the video too long. And we're going to put my son in, Austin, and we'll use the tag son, as well as take care of categorizing, and putting them in family and people, and then go set the featured image. And again, I have all my information and data and images. Everything I need is there and available, so I can just keep moving along. And I'll add Austin to the media gallery, select them, and set them as set that as the featured image as well. Now we're ready to move on to our next three, which are our friends. So we'll go ahead and add a new post and head out and grab our friends out of our data file. We can call it, it's text file, and we'll go ahead and grab them, copy, bring them over, paste them in here, and we'll start with Troy. We'll put Troy's name up top in the title. Best friend, we'll tag him as best friend. Add it to our tags, and then we'll clean up our text here a little bit and go over, and we want to take care of our category, people, friends, and set our featured image. Go out, grab that. Again, a good place to get images for your people is Facebook. You can go and grab images and information. It'll make your life a lot easier. Set the featured image. We cleaned up his text. We'll go ahead and grab our remaining two, pull them out of there, and publish it. So now we'll move on, and we'll start in our friend two. Our friend two, for me, is Sean. Put him in, tag him as a friend, add it, categorize them, and set the featured image. We'll go out and upload a picture of Sean, put it in there. Now he's in the media gallery. Save his featured image. Let's go clean up our text a little bit. And pick up our last friend and Once it's done publishing, we'll go ahead and add a new post. And now Brian Ross. So we can put him up in title, grab our friends, add friend, which we already had. You saw that there. The categories will actually, and tags will actually not let you create duplicates, which is great. So that when you call them friends, you're getting friends, and that's that. And let's go ahead and set our featured image. Upload. And at this point, if you get the point, you can move ahead to working on the pages. For those of you who just kind of want to follow along and keep going, that works as well. I'm just going to finish these out for anybody who would like to continue watching as they walk through. We're going to set the categories there, and we're going to publish this Brian Ross. And so we will now make him a part of our site. Awesome. So now we're going to go and pick up our last 3 people, and we're going to pick them up out of others. We'll go ahead and straighten them up a little bit real quick. Go ahead and grab them, put a little space in there, keep our information good and clean, and we'll move out here to add a new post. And we'll go ahead and step through adding these last 3 people. And our big thing with others, it's hard to decide what do we mean by others. Well, others in this case, in my opinion, are in this lesson assignment. Others are those people that it's a hard line between other acquaintances and friends, but they're acquaintances. And the best way to describe it is, as you can see here in my quote, the dividing line between friends and acquaintances is the time in communication. And so, you can kind of use that as your guide to define who others are. And let's go ahead and grab his image, Ryan. Aaron, I mean. And we'll set his featured image. Our categories are set. All is good. Let's go grab our data for our remaining 2 people. Publish it. And now that it's published, we'll go ahead and add our second to last. And we'll put this up in here as well. Acquaintance. We're going to do our categories, and then we're going to go ahead and put her in as an acquaintance. Go set our featured image. We'll get that uploaded. And the cool thing here, acquaintances can be people that you just brushed against in life, and have given you something to think about that has not escaped you, down to just people from high school that you keep in touch with once in a while, but you might not really consider a friend. Cut that out. And we're added. So let's go ahead and add our last post. Go ahead and put our title up. Put in our tag. Again, as far as others go and how you tag people, you're not necessarily graded for that. You just need to tag them. And remember that tagging is meant to be even categories are one way to separate information and kind of put information into buckets. And tagging is a way to take those buckets and put them into cups, if you think about it like that. We'll hit publish. And we are good to go there. We now have our posts. We'll go to all posts and check. What we want to make sure is that we have 9 posts and that everything looks right as you look down through your posts. And you can see up here we have 9 items, meaning we've hit all of our people. Let's go out and take a peek on our website and see what does that look like exactly. You can see that there's none on the home page yet. We work on the home page last, and some of those people will make their way up to the home page. We have none on people. Ignore that shortcode that's sitting there, please. So one of the things we can go take a look at is if we go under categories and we click on family, we'll see that those family members that we added under category are coming up under category and are there. And there's a reason why we don't just create use the category page. We could, in fact, do that. But what we're trying to do is learn how to take that information and distribute it throughout the page and call it from different areas of the website. And if we go to people, of course, we categorized everyone as people. And so all of our people will show up there. And if you notice, the order that they come up in is the order in which we entered them in. Meaning first in is on the bottom, last in is on the top. Because the way that posts work by default, which we can alter, what will happen is new posts will always come to the top. You can see our categories, our tags are sitting there. If we go ahead and we look at the tags and we click on friend tag, we see that we can pull people up as friends as well, by the tag as well. It's really a cool way to drill through information, to distribute information, and to gather information on specific places. And we can see that we can even edit the tag. So now let's go ahead and we're going to get started on completing our pages. And we're going to go to our others pages and start there. So we'll go ahead and edit our others page. And when we get in here, we're going to start using that plugin that we installed right away, the Shortcode Ultimate. We do that by clicking on this button here. And it brings up a whole bunch of different shortcodes that we can use. And we'll learn more about these as we go along. What's really cool is that shortcodes, as you'll start to see, basically acts like using HTML. And we can filter out and look at what the different shortcodes are that give us, that are available to us. Some of them are just simple, like a media gallery or a light box or some type of information that we can use to pull into our page. But the one we're looking for is posts under other. And what we want to use this for is, so we categorized our posts and we created our posts, and in this page, others, we want to just pull in others, anything under the category people others. It's pretty cool. The way that we do that is we have this great little interface that's made for us. After a while, you'll find you won't even use this interface. But for now, it's an excellent way to get familiar with shortcodes and do it in a manner that you're not stuck wondering, how do I get this? How do I get that? How do I get different pieces of information? So in this panel, it's pretty cool because instead of having to know the codes right out of the gate, we can use this to find what it is that we're looking for. And we can tell it, hey, I want 10 posts, which is what we're going to leave it set at. And what I want is posts. And we're going to go ahead and we want to do our posts. We want to sort through them and grab them as categories. And so what we'll use is taxonomy. And what taxonomy is essentially lists, menus, lists, categories, things of that nature is what a taxonomy is. And as you can see here, it gives us the options to leverage the different taxonomies available to us. In this case, we're going to be using the categories. We could use tags, navigation, menus, link categories, things like that. But for this exercise, we're going to go ahead and use the categories. And so at the moment, we're doing others, so we're going to select the others. And you can see down here, as we move along, taxonomy in. So it's basically saying any post that's in the category others. And we can scroll down and make sure that we have that highlighted and checked. A lot more information. Some of this we'll be learning about as we move forward. Offset, things like that. And then since we're talking about people, it's a really good idea to go ahead and put the order in ascending. And you don't want to go making anybody angry. So if you do it in ascending and we do it by title, we can easily explain and say to those people that we're showing our work to, hey, no, it's not by the order that you're important. It's ascending order of your names. So, of course, with family, Austin would come first, Chloe would come second, and Jen would come third. Sparing you the argument of why was I not first? Why is so-and-so first? And that's a good control to have. We're going to go ahead and say we want it in published, which we'll learn more about as we move forward, the different post statuses and things of that nature. And we can go ahead and preview our shortcode now. It gives us a brief preview of what it'll look like with our shortcode in there. And then we can hit insert code, and it actually puts it right into our web page. So we updated our page, we saved our page, and when we go out and we take a look, there we have it. We now are pulling just others into the others page. As we change, update, add to that category, take away, those things will all go into that page. To complete the others page, we want to go ahead and we want to grab our quote. And the way that we do our quote is we grab our quote, we copy it, and again, we're going to use another shortcode. And the shortcode that we're going to use actually is, the whole idea of it is to do a quote. Search for it, there it is. We'll scroll down. We'll learn about being able to apply different styles at a later point. And as far as the quote plugin goes, the quote shortcode goes, it's pretty cool because we can do things like we can cite our work, and we can put a site URL, and for this, though, what we're going to do is we're going to put our quote in, and what we're going to do is take our author's name, and we're going to extract it out of our quote text, and we're actually going to put it under site, and it'll offset the author's name like you see in most quotes. If you use live preview, you can see that's exactly what it'll look like. So we'll go ahead and we'll insert it. And at this point, we're ready to update our page. And what's nice is that quote will appear on the top of our page. Our people underneath it. And that is our others page, which is now completed. All right, so let's move on to our friends page. We can go ahead and click edit on the page from the front end of the website and just start working from there. And we'll go ahead and exactly how we did the others page, we'll go ahead and do our friends page. Go out, get our posts, categories, and this time we want category, we want friends. So it'll pull only posts that have the are assigned to the category friends. All of our settings from our previous are there. They're saved. So we're going to do ascending by title. So we can do a live preview. And there are our friends, listed in alphabetical order. We'll go ahead, do our quote. Grab that off of our information sheet. Look for friends. Put our quote, short code, go pick it out. One thing that you'll notice in the short codes you got to be careful of is if you see it holds the information from the previous one. So I would select all in the box and then backspace and then paste that quote in. Go ahead and grab our author and replace the author from the previous quote. And we'll just go ahead and insert this one in and update it. And go take a look, make sure that looks good. It does. Everything is working as we expected. Our quote is there, our friends are there. We're good to go on that page. So let's go ahead to our others page. And we'll, not our others, sorry, family page. And we'll do exactly what we just did there. Go to edit page, get rid of anything that you have in there. I have a little remnants of shortcode in there. Insert. This time we're going to go ahead and just do the quote first. Insert our quote. Again, get rid of the previous one. Paste that in there. That time we can just delete the name because I'm using same author. We'll come down and put in our other piece of short code, which is going to be our grab our posts. And we're doing family on this one. Come down through, all our settings are still there and saved. And we can go ahead and update this one as well. Go take a look, and there's our family page. So now, to complete this lesson, we have to go do our people page. So we'll go to our people page and we'll edit, get rid of that remnants again. Just ended up with some remnants in there. We're starting with a clear box, of course. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to add tabs. So we just grab the tabs in our shortcodes. And we know that we want 3 tabs. And by default, it starts out with 3 tabs, and we can see what they look like. Before we go ahead and insert it, what we can do, so that we have a visual and we can make sure that we have our titles correct, we'll go in and put the tab for our family. You see it redrawing as we do it. Friends. And our others tab. And it's just by highlighting tab name and getting that in there. And there our tabs are ready. And so you can see that we have all 3. And let's insert the shortcode. And let's treat this shortcode just like it's HTML. You can see that we have opening and we have closing tabs. And we even have the opening and closing for, tabs itself, and then for each tab that's inside. So we'll go ahead and lay this out so it's a little less confusing and it makes a little more sense to us. But you can see, again, it's almost just like working with HTML elements. That's our closing for our tab, and then our closing for our tabs with an S, because all of our tabs are inside that opening and closing S tabs. And then each item, each tab is actually SU_tab. It's good. You can start to see this is a great way to manage business users and allow them some capabilities, while at the same time, it's definitely a great learning tool. You're getting an idea. You're actually looking at elements. And so inside that tab, we're going to go ahead and do what we did before with posts, except that we're going to capture them inside of a tab, and we're going to start off with family. We know that all of our settings are there, so we'll just select family. And we'll go ahead and just insert that. And you can see that we're inside the opening and closing tab, and we'll go ahead and do that for friends. We'll go and insert, and you can see we're not calling family, we're actually calling an ID. And that works out great because when it's searching for information, it's not searching for the category family, it's searching for the category 9. So now we'll go ahead and put our friends. Whoops, okay. Friends post in here. We'll go ahead and select friends. Scroll down. Insert that. And then we'll go ahead and do our others as well. Select others. And we'll go ahead and insert that shortcode as well. Now to wrap our page up, we'll go ahead and put our quote in the top of the page. I'll grab that out of my data file. Hit the shortcode. Go grab quote. Oops, not tabs, quote. Clear out our content box and paste our quote in there. Take our author, clean that up, put that up under our site, and we'll insert that as well. Update, and we'll go have a look at our final page, people. And you gotta be careful when you copy and paste. You can see here I ended up with a space in there where I didn't want one. So it's always a good idea to review your copy and paste a little bit and make sure that you don't carry over any foreign illegal characters or anything like that that might, you know, make your code or your text wonky. Update it, and let's go see what our finished page looks like. Here we can see we got our quote, we got our tabs, our people underneath, and we are good to go. And so